Hey, buddy.
I got a guy driving by your beautiful duplex in Council Bluffs today, by the way.
Perfect. I'm trying to see if I can get some pictures.
It's a fun neighborhood over there. He just remodeled an apartment across the street, basically, in the last year. So he kind of knows the neighborhood.
So this is a guy. This is a guy that got hold of me on Instagram that has the he had the deal, and I made him go down like another 20 grand. It took him like 30 days to get it down, but he has it down. So I don't know if we can, make 5 grand on it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see. It matters I don't know how bad the inside. If the inside ain't bad, it's worth that.
Yeah. We'll find out. Hey, Robbie.
Looked like they messed up siding on the other side too. Like it was already coming off. But that was a Google picture. We'll see.
Yeah.
What real life looks like.
Hey, Chris. I don't know. Your camera's not on, but I don't know if you can hear me or not. Hope you're doing well. How's everybody doing?
Good.
We'll cover some cool stuff today after we do some Q&A. Did I tell you guys about the scanner we use, the scans, the postcards?
You said something about it.
Yes, I think Tyler sent the link for it for the Amazon.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I'm gonna share that. You guys got that a couple weeks ago, I think, but I'm gonna share that as my freebie Friday tomorrow. And it's a pretty powerful way to get the leads that most people don't do anything with. They throw those cards away and they don't realize you can skip trace and follow up with those people. So we'll talk about that this morning. I don't know how many people are going to jump on for sure. We'll give it a couple more minutes here. The other cool thing, you guys, that I'm working on, I mentioned it to you guys, were the first ones to find out about it. But we automated, with the land glide system I told you guys about. Remember that?
Yeah.
We're in action on that. It basically went live. I think, what was it, yesterday, Tyler, or the day before? Yesterday. So we went live with that yesterday, and it's awesome, man. It's like you can do, I think you could actually eliminate. Hey, Rod.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How's it going?
Good.
I think you could basically eliminate a lot of different processes with just that one piece. So we'll see how good it is, but we've already got buyers automatically coming in now. It's pretty powerful. I'll kind of talk about that today to share with you guys some more. And again, I'm going to give you guys the whole system on how to do it. Everybody else is going to have to pay for it. You guys are getting it no cost. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty wild. It's pretty neat to watch. It's pretty cool to build a system that nobody else has and then watch it run and then watch it work and then automate it and just, you have an automated cool deal. It's kind of neat.
Was this that Facebook process you're talking about, or that system?
Yeah. So it's the land glide thing I talked to you guys about a couple weeks ago. We've just finished the system and made it live yesterday. So we're testing it right now. It's pretty cool. I think it's going to work really well. In fact, I'll explain it again, because you guys are going to get this. I'm probably going to give this to you next week. I want to finish working with it for a couple days and tweaking it and making sure. I don't want to give you guys something that's not tested. So we're going to tweak it for a few days and see how it goes. Josh, you on the beach, bud?
Always, man. Always on the beach.
Yeah. It was pretty good. Dude, you got stitches or?
Yeah, did you see that? Yeah. Yeah, I got a big old black eye now. My ridge is yellow, so it's coming together. But yeah, I got about 10 stitches.
I've passed out before from standing up too quick.
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me. The crazy thing is, here's a crazy unknown statistic by most people. When you pass out, you automatically always fall face first when you pass out. You never fall backwards, you fall forwards. And secondly, you don't use your hands to, your face is the first thing that hits the ground.
Yeah. And this happened to hit the corner of a table.
Yeah.
So
it's not good.
Not fun.
I've had it happen to me twice in my life. And I literally, to this day, I think I broke my jaw when it happened to me in high school. But I never went to the doctor. And so every time if I chew, my jaw pops out of place, even to this day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty wild. One time I did it outside. I was laying down in the grass on lunch break. I worked for a farmer and I got up too quick and I hit the grass. That wasn't that bad. But the second time it happened, I hit a linoleum floor. Oof. And I was like, I think I was like in 7th or 8th grade the first time it happened when I hit the linoleum floor, and my parents come in. I fall, boom, hit the ground. It's in the middle of the night, and my parents come in, and all they see is just blood everywhere.
Oh yeah, that was.
And they're like, they don't even know what's going on, and I don't know what's going on. Like I literally, I don't know what's happening. It's crazy. So when I saw that, I that's real. That happens.
Yeah, you're reminiscing.
Yeah. So hey guys, it's about 4 after. I'm going to go ahead and start. And if people come in and out, we'll, they'll catch in. We got this recorded too, so you guys get it. But a couple things before I do Q&A, I get excited. I like talking about stuff we're working on. So I talked to you guys, it was either last week or week before about the land glide system that we're working on. And we went live with that yesterday. And it's wild, man. It's cool. So what happens is so we got a house under contract. Now you could do this. You could actually do this even without the house being under contract. You could just pick a neighborhood, but we did it off a house we got under contract. So then what happens is we go in, the house is under contract. We draw a 15 block area around it. We pull all the data. And anybody, like I was telling you guys before, you're going to get a lot of people that have LLCs in that square 15 block area that'll never show up on any cash buyers list, but they own lots of properties, right? Not everybody buys properties every single month, right? I mean, when you pull a cash buyers list, most people don't go any further back than 12 months. Sometimes not even that. Sometimes it's 6 months. Sometimes it's 90 days. So what happens is you end up getting a lot of properties that will never show up on any cash buyers list. So that's one piece. So you've got all these LLCs in that area. Like I said, I think we had like 25 people that own like 3 or 4 properties or plus. So, hey Jeff. So you have that part. Now you've got instant cash buyers. So what we do is now you can automate this whole process with a virtual assistant. This is a cool part about what the training you guys are going through. So what happens is we pull that data, and then we text the people that have multiple LLCs. And the text is super simple. It just says, "Hey, this is Matt. I recently bought a property in a neighborhood where I noticed you own a couple properties as well. Are you looking to add more properties to your portfolio? Are you looking to purchase any further properties?" So that's one piece, and that's getting us responses. That text is getting us responses. And then what happens is your VA, so your VA will send the text, the responses will come back. The people will say, yes, I'm looking, yes or no, right? Some people are not looking. People that say, yes, I'm looking, they enter those into a Google sheet that that can go right into your Podio system, and you'll just start building your cash buyers list automatically. Secondly is you now have all of this data for homeowners, right? So now this is not the downside to this is, it could be downside, it could be upside. I'll explain why in a second. But you have all these homeowners that are just living it. They have a house, or maybe they're owner occupied or non-owner occupied, but you have all this other data for people that would potentially sell. So what we're doing is anybody that has anybody that owns a property, non-owner occupied in that area, we are sending them a text. Now, obviously, the people that own more than one might be a better motivated cash buyer. It's hard to say. We'll see what the stats show us. Secondly, we're reaching out to each person that only owns, the property just themselves. Or again, non-owner occupied, you could do this exact same thing. You'll discover it if you send somebody a text, hey, are you buying any properties? I bought a property in your neighborhood. Are you buying any more properties? That text. If they say, no, I'm not buying any, you will follow that conversation with, well, are you looking to sell the one that you currently have, right? That's one piece. So you're going to get one or the other out of this. Secondly is all the people that just own the owner-occupied properties, you're going to text them too. Now all this is going to be done with the VA. It's all automated. It's just with human automation. So then you're going to say, hey, do you want to, I just bought a property. So for the owner occupied, you're going to say, hey, I just bought a property in your neighborhood. Just curious, are you looking to sell the property that you own? And so then you'll get leads, right? Now, the more leads you get, the more buyers you get. It's like almost like a perpetual motion machine, because every time you get somebody that says, yeah, I want to sell, and then you turn around and could sell it to one of the buyers that said, I'm looking to buy. So a couple cool things. So you might say, well, hey, that sounds great, but those people, how do you know they have high equity? How do you know they're not, that they're motivated to sell? Well, you don't. But here's the thing. There's not a list on the planet that's 100% accurate. So why is that important? Well, that's important because if you buy a vacant high equity list like we love, then that's the list we love to get from Exact Data. Vacant, non-owner occupied, high equity. Okay, that's the best list we've got. But even Exact Data, when you pull that data, there is going to be a certain percentage that doesn't work. Like you pulled the data and the person's like, no, I live here. I don't want to sell my house. Like none of it's you guys following me? None of it's 100%. The reason that's important is that means if you get people on that list where the house isn't vacant and the house isn't non-owner occupied and the house isn't high equity, what's the chances the opposite's happening? What's the chances that you're not picking up some of the houses that are non-owner occupied, that aren't vacant, that are high equity? What I'm saying is it goes both ways. There's a certain percentage of the houses that won't be picked up. So what this does is it gets everybody. So if somebody doesn't show up that's on the Exact Data list that does want to sell and they've got a lot of equity and the house is vacant, now you've got an opportunity to buy a house nobody else is seeing because nobody else is pulling that, or they're pulling a list, but the house doesn't show up. You guys with me? So not only are you finding cash buyers that aren't on a list, you're finding sellers that aren't on a list as well. There's going to be a certain percentage. Maybe that's 10%, 11%, 9%, somewhere in that range. We'll know more as we dig into this and start gathering real data. But it's pretty cool. Because if this works, if this actually does work out, and it's not that expensive to do, like it's right in line with what we pay for data. The difference is we just know more about what we're getting because we've got this land glide system pulls a lot of cool information. So the cool thing is this can all be automated. You can find out in real time who wants to buy, who wants to sell, and then just start buying and selling properties like crazy in between the list. So we'll see. Worst case scenario, nobody sells or nobody buys. You're still building your cash buyers. You're still building a list. You're still making contact. You're still following. So your follow-up routines, remember 75% of the deals we do are follow-ups. So that seller might say, no, I don't want to sell my house right now. Well, you just follow up. And maybe in a year they will, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years. They want to sell, but if you follow up enough, you're gonna be the first one they call. The same with the cash buyers. They might not buy something from you today, but they know you exist, and now they're on a list. They're in your podio, and you can follow up with them. So it's pretty cool. So I'm hoping to see kind of how that works, and kind of really dig into the data. So like I said, it's probably going to be, I just hate releasing something to you guys before I have it dialed in. I just hate doing that. So give me another week or so to dial in the things, tweak where I need to tweak. And so when I hand it to you guys, it's working really, really well. The bugs are out. Again, I'm going to release this as a product eventually, not sure when. But you guys get it for free, no matter what I'm selling it for to everybody else. The second thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys is I told you guys a couple weeks ago about the scanner that you should be scanning. You're now, a lot of you guys are now sending direct mail, right? Are you getting piles of it back that went undeliverable?
Not
Anybody?
Yeah.
I should start getting mine back to that. Mine first batch went out like 6 days ago, so I should be getting stuff any day now.
Okay. So I think Tyler sent you guys an email with a link to a scanner that I think the scanner, what's it cost, Tyler? A couple $100?
250.
$250. We have one sitting, like, if I turn this camera around, you'd see ours. It's like right over there. Yeah, we have 3. Yeah. Who else has them?
There's 2 in the office.
Okay. So we have 3 of them total. We have them so other people can do this whole thing. But they'll pay for itself in one run, because those cards were sent out, they became undeliverable. Does that mean because they're undeliverable that those might not be, are not going to be potential deals? Absolutely not. Those are potential deals. And what most people do is they take that pile of postcards and they throw it in the garbage and say, well, those aren't worth my time. The cost of the scanner will pay for itself, because in one run, what's going to happen is, if this thing's super fast, it shoots them through there really fast and it scans both sides at the same time. So you scan them through there, you get a PDF, you send that to your VA.
One PDF for all the cards.
Yeah, one PDF for everything. So on one big list. You send that to your VA, or your VA then skips traces it. And I didn't teach. Amanda just sent our how to skip trace the same training you guys have, to a new VA yesterday. And literally, like, she sent her the training. The girl noted, hey, received. This is a $3 an hour VA too, by the way, guys. Like 30 minutes later, she's like, yep, got it, no problem. She skip traced her first list. Super simple. Like, this is a brand new VA. Like, this is not hard, you guys. We just sent them the same training that you guys exactly have. That's all we did. So now what'll happen is, you scan that through, you send that PDF, you skip trace it, and then you text those people, or you cold call one of the others. It's pretty cool. Yesterday, we got our first, I hired a new, so here's the cool part, guys, we're constantly expanding, right? My team's growing all the time. And I just hired, about the time I did your training, almost like literally within the day, probably 2-3 weeks ago, I hired a brand new VA to do all my cold calling. That VA just got her first house under contract yesterday. I looked it up. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath in a great neighborhood in East Moline, and we got it for $30,000. So that's awesome, right? Again, I'm doing the same stuff you guys are doing. As my team builds, I have to give more to do to each VA. And I'm growing like crazy. I literally just told my team the other day, like, who else can we eliminate in the office? Like, I want more virtual assistants. I want a virtual assistant massive team to run my whole company. So it's so funny, you guys. I'll tell you, every time there's a glitch in my system, every time I see a problem arise in my company, it's never with a VA. It's always with an employee. That's how it is. Like yesterday, think about this for a second. Yesterday, I see an email. What happens is, every time I buy a property, there's a perfect email that goes out. You guys have all this. There's what we call a perfect email that comes out. We close, and it gives every person what they should do. Amanda Milne sends that. So it goes out, and Daisy, who is a VA, my first VA that I've had since 2015, she makes $10 an hour. She started out $1 an hour. She sends an email and says, hey, this property we closed on 2 days ago, it's not in Appfolio yet. And I'm like freaking losing my mind. Like, those are the types of mistakes I don't deal with. Like, that's super simple stuff. We close on a house, you put it into Appfolio. So I bought 2 houses on Tuesday and neither one had been added. And I'm like, I don't know who does everything in my company. So I sent an email. I just happened to be copied on this Mass Perfect email. So I said, whose responsibility is it? And sure enough, it was somebody in my office. So, but one of my virtual assistants caught the mistake, and it was a person in my office that actually made the mistake, right? That's the stuff that's crazy. So that's why this stuff's so important. So anyway, you scan them through, you got a PDF, you go through, you skip trace, then you cold call or you text. Super simple. That list is gold. You will do deals from that list because nobody else is doing that part. Why? Because it takes work. And it takes a process, and people are like, it's just easier to throw the cards in the trash and send a new list, right? Here's the other cool part. If you're really dial this in, you can take that list and scrub that list against the next list you buy. So let's say the scanner's $250, and I've got a stack of cards sitting there. I don't know, there's probably, what do you think, Tyler, of those postcards sitting there? There's probably 400, 300, something like that. Maybe like 300 cards sitting there. Well, think about that.
We get like a 6-inch stack every week.
We get a stack like that big every week. Now, you take a stack that big. Let's say there's 500 or 600 cards. How much does it cost you to send a card? 50 cents, right? It's about 50 cents between the postage and the card. If the scanner's $250 in one batch, it pays for itself because you're saving that money on the next batch of cards you shouldn't be sending. See what I'm saying? That's why I think it's just a no-brainer. So here's the piece, though, that you can't really automate too much. I automate it because I have somebody in my office do it. But you guys would probably, so here's the piece, like, you know, it doesn't make sense to have your virtual assistant to have that scanner in the Philippines, right? Because every week you'd have to send a pile of mail really far away. It wouldn't make any sense. So the one piece that you'd have to do is have one of those in your office and then run them through every week. As fast as this thing is, it's 10 minutes of your time. If you get an assistant like me that's in your office, they can do it for you. This might be one piece. You just do it yourself, 15 minutes a week. You're done. Send the list, get it skip traced, get it cold called, tell your VA to scrub that list against the next list you send. Super simple.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a higher response rate on those because nobody else is getting a hold of those people, right? Because they're not answering their direct mail. So anyway, I wanted to talk through that. So back to you guys. What questions do you have for me today? Anything? Any struggles, problems, issues, short success stories, making offers?
I hit you up a couple days ago, text you on, you know, the best way to train a lead manager, and then also the best way to train an acquisitions person. But let's just start with the lead manager first, you know, step by step. But
yeah, so now we have. So I think you asked me if it was possible, and I said yes.
No. I said, is it possible in 2 markets? That was my question. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me just pull it. Make sure I did not follow up, right?
No, you did.
Okay.
I think you just said it's possible.
Yeah. Okay. So so lead manager. So for me, my lead manager is Amanda, right? So she's not in my office. You would consider Amanda kind of a virtual assistant because she works from home and she's 1,500 miles from where I live and where we do deals. She's a little more advanced, I would say, because she's been with me for 8 years. But everything she does as a lead manager can be done as a virtual assistant. If Amanda were to leave, I hope that would never happen. But let's say she decided that she wanted to do her own thing or whatever, I would not replace Amanda with a person in my office. A virtual assistant would do what she does. So let's just, Josh, let's go through this really quick. This is a good question. I went through this on the training, but I want to go through it again because it is really important. And I found out just by accident when I was in a high-level mastermind that my lead manager does way different stuff than most of the high level guys. And most of the guys I shared this with said, we're switching to your system. Actually, all of them said that. So I think the way we do it is really good. So what I do is, remember, my lead manager controls the offer. That's the difference between how I do it and most people. So what happens is marketing goes out, leads come in. Okay. Now, when those leads come in, Amanda decides from that, looking at that lead, she does a quick, we call it a quick ARV. And all that is we look at Zillow, we look at Realtor.com, we look at the assessed value, and we decide, okay, the owner owes $90,000. The house is worth approximately $100,000. Is this worth moving forward on? No, because there's not enough equity there for us to be excited about it. That one would get kicked out. Amanda makes that decision. Second deal comes through. Okay, this one's worth $100,000. They owe nothing on it. Okay, doesn't matter if the seller's motivated or not. I don't give a crap. Okay, if they have a ton of equity, I'm making an offer. Okay, period. That's happening. And they just may not accept my offer based on the fact that they're not motivated. I'm still making the offer. You guys with me? You know why that's important? Because what if I don't detect any motivation and they accept my offer anyway, right? You don't know until you make the offer. Somebody could, there are people out there that own $100,000 houses. This has happened to us a million times. They own a $100,000 house. They'd say, I don't want to sell my house. You'd never give me what it's worth. And we say, well, we'd do $50,000. Oh, you would do $50,000? Well, then now we're talking now. Yeah, I'll take it. Because they don't even know what the value of their house is. You guys with me? That's why we always make an offer. Secondly, we make an offer because now we have an offer in our system, in our Podio, that we have forever. They'll get followed up on, and we know where the conversation was. In July of 2014, we made an offer on this house of $32,000. They said no, they wanted $75,000. And 6 years later, we're buying the house, right? I mean, that stuff happens to us, right? And it will happen to you guys the more you build your list and you gather data in your Podio. Remember what I said, Podio's and your CRM, whether you use Podio or not, your CRM is the most important thing in your tool bag because there's where all your leads are held. You can follow up. So you guys never skip the step of filling out the lead sheet in Podio and saving data, right? That has to happen. That's pure gold. That's where all the money's at. You guys with me? 75% of your money will be from follow-up leads. So what happens is then, Josh, is $100,000 house, owe nothing. Amanda says, hey, we're going to, from that step, she says to the acquisitions person, which his name on my team is Eric, good lead, call this seller. Eric follows up, calls the seller, gets back with Amanda on all the data, goes to the house. Hey, house, here's the pictures of the house. Here's my conversation with the seller. Here's what the seller wants, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Amanda says, hey, he'll comes back with seller wants $75,000 for the house. Amanda does her math. Now she does real comps. She has pictures to look at. She does an estimated repair, and she makes an offer. She tells the acquisitions person what the max offer that it can be, or the first offer out of the gate. So she might say, I can only offer $30,000 on that house. So the seller's asking 75, but she goes back to the acquisitions guy, hey, we can only offer 30. So now his job is to get 30 accepted. That's the role of the acquisitions person. Does that make sense? So then from there, it's, your acquisitions guy or gal, it's all about their ability to negotiate, right? It's their ability to get that accepted. That's why that part's important. Amanda doesn't negotiate with sellers ever. She's not on the phone with sellers. She's there as the lead manager. She's managing the leads and determining what the max we can pay on that deal is. Does that make sense? Good?
Hey, Matt, when you get a list or, like my list from Exact Data, do you upload that to your CRM, or you just upload the leads that you get from that?
Right. So what happens is, let's say you're going to, you're gonna text those or cold call those. You're not loading those into your CRM until it actually becomes a lead. Okay.
Gotcha.
You're loading it into, let's say you're going to text them and you're using Lead Sherpa. You're going to load them into that system, but they don't really go into your Podio until it becomes a real lead. What other stuff you guys run in? Who's making offers right now? I know Josh, you are. David is. You other guys, you guys making offers?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Robbie.
Okay, I have a question on, my VA has been calling the exact data list, and I've almost got like 50 leads now, but nobody is distressed or in pain or interested in selling.
Are you making offers anyway?
That's what I was going to ask you. I was telling them the price around 60% to 70% of the ARV, but they just hang up, or they just. Okay.
And you're asking them what they would want for the property, right?
They are mostly concerned about what we can offer to them. Like, they're not opening up with any pain or anything. Like, they want to sell.
Remember, you're in a market. You're in California, right? You're at which city? Fresno. Yeah. You're in a market that's, it's competitive, right? We're all in competitive markets. The whole country's competitive, but California is kind of, it's up there at the top. So part of it is follow-ups. And remember, my line that I like to use when I'm delivering a tough offer, when you're not dealing with somebody that's motivated, I'll say, hey, I know you want 500,000 for the house. I'm at 400 grand, or I'd be closer to 400. Is it worth continuing the conversation? That way you're not really making the offer, but you're saying that's about where you'd need to be. And if they say no, it's not worth considering, then it's like no big deal. Then following up is a little easier. When they hang up on you, then it's a little harder to follow up, right? Because then it's like they're kind of pissed off.
So I was going to ask you, like, should I send any letter with an offer or any text message with an offer afterwards?
No, from there you can text, set up an automatic, set up your follow-up. You might want to go 30 days with your leads that are not motivated at all, right? Yeah. And you just have to stay consistent. It's just consistency and continually staying in front of them. So of your 50 leads or so, how many offers have you made as far as verbal offers?
Almost everyone I call, like around 32.
Okay. And no counters yet, nothing?
No, the weird thing is, I thought these houses are supposed to be vacant, but everybody have renters in place.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. So.
And so that's part of it. Remember what it said, sometimes it's just, now what about the people that didn't respond?
To my call, or, to them, I'm sending mailers. I set up the Nexa yesterday. It's all set up. So I'm going to be sending mailers with the numbers.
Okay. All right. So just the biggest thing I can tell you is in California, it's a consistency piece. You're going to do, if we go head to head and I'm in Iowa and you're in California and we do the exact same amount of work, I'm going to make more offers and get more deals closed, but I'm going to have to do 10 to every one of yours in profit wise, right? Because you're working with bigger numbers. So you're going to do a tenth of the deals I do to make the same amount of money. So just remember, it's kind of like California, it's home run city, right? In Iowa, we just base hit. So just be consistent, okay? Just be consistent and keep it going until you just give it a little bit of time, right? The biggest thing is with you sending direct mail is getting the people that come back as undelivered, like we just talked about in the first part. I'd be getting on that very quickly.
Okay.
Right. The other thing too is I think once we dial in this, the whole land glide piece, that'll give you some more stuff to work with as well. I'd like to see how it works out there as well. Okay, so for you, Robbie, I just stay consistent. Keep it going, right? I mean, it takes a little time to get momentum. Once you get some momentum, it's it's a different ball game.
Okay.
But always make offers. Keep making the offer. Okay, even if it's verbal, just keep making the offer. What about anybody else?
Pat, I wanted to ask you, when you get your leads or trying to pull your lists and stuff like that, Amanda does, or you're doing marketing, are there specific areas of the Quad Cities that you pick or that you will not market to? Or do you just say, the hell with it, I'm going to hit all my zip codes and whatever comes and sort it out then? How do you decide
we do everything
to market to?
We do everything. You got to remember, I'm in a small area, so there's only like 8 or 9 zip codes anyway.
Oh.
Maybe 10 or 12, I don't know. But there's not that many. We only have 450,000 people total. So I hit everything.
I see. And also, here's another question, and I'll let you finish, but I want to get this in here. On your Podio system, I'm not quite sure on that system or that CRM, but do you have something where it's like an integral system where maybe you send out a piece of direct mail and then 10 days later you drop a RVM, and then a few minutes after that a text, hey, I just did an RVM, and then have something set on an automation piece that just does that for a period of 30 days and follows up?
Well, we do everything. I don't know. It's not really set up minutes later, but we do direct. Once we pull a list, once we have that list, we hit that list with all the different types.
I see.
We'll do cold call that list. We'll do texting. We'll do direct mail, everything.
I see. Is it coordinated? I mean, does it say, hey, I just sent you a piece of direct mail and I tried to get a hold of you, so no, you just get them.
No. The only thing that really says anything like that would be the RVM when we follow up.
I see.
One of my messages is like, hey, I tried to get a hold of you, a month ago or whatever. But that's it. So no, but they do see the name. We get comments like, man, you guys are everywhere,
awesome.
we just, because, and I've got a little bit the other side of the thing too, where I got 15, 20 company vehicles running around all the time too. So they see our name with that.
Sure.
So that helps too. But yeah, so no, once you pull that list, you beat the crap out of that list. Like you hit it and beat it up. And when you decide you're not going to do anything else with that list anymore, that's because you're just not getting any response left from it. You've beat the crap out of it. It's just not working anymore. That's when you pull the new list.
How does, I don't understand that. I do get, like, let's say 90 days, it may be 90 days, it could be 120 days, just depending on when it's not responsive anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
The list, right?
Yep.
But what I don't get is how all of a sudden a whole new, thousands of vacant homes show up, and the old ones are on this list, but you're pulling from exact data. You're saying it really changes that rapidly within.
It's night and day. The minute you pull a new list and mark it to that list, it's night and day.
Is that so? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
That's how many transactions are happening, right? I mean,
yes.
there's a lot going on. And I remember even in like 09, 10 and all that, I mean, it's still, people have this perception that nobody's doing real estate. Like, no, transactions are happening every single day.
Great.
So,
okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, that's what you said to us, but obviously you wouldn't be getting new deals all the time if you didn't have fresh leads, right?
Yep. It's a pretty amazing. Trust me, it boggled my mind the first time we started doing it too. I was just like, man, how can that be possible? Like, but you beat the crap out of a list. You hit it every week for 8 weeks. And all of a sudden you pull a new list, same areas, same criteria, same everything, pull a new list. You got new, fresh names. You send it, it crushes.
Okay, great. Your acquisitions guy is going, I take it you said goes on the appointment. So right now he's not too worried about this crisis we're having, the COVID. He's going most of the time to see the homeowner or see the house. And is the homeowner there, or is it mostly a vacant home so he doesn't have to worry about it? Or what do you guys do?
Well, usually will meet somebody there.
Okay.
But no, he's a bloodthirsty killer. Like he doesn't care. He wants to make money.
I see. And the homeowners don't care that much. They want to sell the house. So you got
they're probably just keeping further away from each other,
Yeah. You're not doing the thing where the seller's usually taking pictures of it and sending it to you. That's kind of rough.
Yeah, we do that if we have to. If the seller says, I don't want you in there, then we have them take pictures.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, guys, it hasn't. This whole thing it's been amazing. I mean, it's like helped us. Like it's been a great deal. Hey, Ravi, are you still can you still hear me? I don't know if
Yes, I
you're.
can. Yes.
Hey, do me a favor too, Robbie. I want you to raise your offers. I want you to raise your offers. Don't go 40% less. That's too low for your area.
I give them a range. I give them a range for like 60 to 80% of the 60 to 75% of ARV.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do a range. Just do 80. I want to just see you get an offer accepted. You have a inspection period. You can back out or come back and get less anyway. So do an 80% offer. Just get momentum. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't know until you get momentum. Your 80% offer could be 60%. Like when you really start running the comps and see what your buyers want, you might be able to get a house under contract for 90% of what you think it's worth and wholesale it and make 30, 40,000. Your thing should be, don't go too low. You can always come back through an inspection and say, hey, due to the inspection, here's my new offer. That's always on the table. Worst case that happens is they say no. But in my area, so think about these percentages. We get an offer accepted, and if I come back with a $5,000 to $7,000 reduction, now these are $100,000 houses. So I'm basically coming back with a 5 to 7% reduction. And if I come back with a 5 or 7, it's always getting accepted, always 100%. If I get to 10,000, maybe only 50% of those people will come back and say, so for example, $100,000 house, we offer 35,000. We do an inspection. Hey, more was wrong with it than we thought. Here's my new bid. So I can only give you 28,000. Always we're getting that accepted. Now, if I said, hey, hey, 35,000, we come in and do an inspection, we come back and it needs more work. Hey, I need a $15,000 reduction and I can only give you 20 grand. And maybe 25, 30% of those will get accepted. But 5 to 7 always. So you're better off when you're trying to do your first deal. Most people are offering a little too less because they're nervous. Raise your offer up. Get something under contract, get it to your buyers, see what happens. If nobody, you got 14 days, whatever you set up in your contract, 14 days. If you if you can't sell it, back out. No big deal. If you use my contract, you're as safe as can be. My contract is just ironclad. Right? I just want to see you make offers, and I want to see you guys get, accepted. I mean, I know, Jeff, you've done a lot of deals over time, and David and Ryan just jumped on. He's done a lot. Josh has done a lot. So you guys that have done a lot, you kind of know how this works. But if you haven't done a deal, you're better off making a little higher offer and just renegotiating when you need to. Okay. Especially if you're in a coastal state. The coastal states are, my buddy, in 2009, a friend of mine, good friend of mine, he's a commercial real estate broker for Keller Williams out in California. And those guys got wiped out. They went from doing transactions to doing nothing. And he saw me doing wholesaling in 2009. And he's like, what in the heck is wholesaling? And I explained it to him very simply what it is. And he's like, I don't think you can do that in California. I'm like, I guarantee you can do it in California. So I taught him wholesaling, and he did his first wholesale fee. He made 50 grand, but he was getting stuff under contract at like near retail value and still finding buyers for it. It's a different mentality out there. Okay. People think more long-term. They don't care about overpaying. They're buying in California. I'm going to own this house for 30 years, right? Yeah. Play on that mentality.
That's what happens normally. Whenever we go on a wholesaler puts a deal, you'll see they're going to be buyers like 20, 25 of them, and they'll be getting a property close to retail value. Mm-hmm. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. We met a flipper who's doing it like with a 10,000 margin in California. She said, I just want to learn the process. She's been doing deals, taking all the deals with so much less margin, but it doesn't make sense. But people are
yeah. But people don't buy in California based on logic. They buy based on emotion, right? Yeah. Emotion's way more powerful than logic. So just take my word for it. Make higher offers. In fact, everybody that you've made an offer to, send them back a text and say, hey, I don't know what I was thinking, but I way underbid the price. Your house is worth more than I thought. Here's my new offer. Go back and just do them all over again.
Okay.
And just say, I made a mistake. Just say, hey, I made a mistake. I don't know how I looked at these wrong, but your house is way more valuable than I thought. Here's my offer, and see what happens. Okay.
Right.
And report back next week when we jump on.
Sure.
Okay. Who else has got something you guys want to talk about? Anybody?
Is there a video, Matt, on because I'm going to have my VA start taking advantage of the free lead that you talked about last week, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace.
All those videos, you have them all.
Okay. Is there one on finding deals on Craigslist?
Mm-hmm.
And that, okay.
Yep. It's in your, where would it be located, Ty?
They just have one big video folder.
You got a big video folder.
If you take the folder and press Control F or Command F, you can search it really fast.
Yeah, so here's a cool thing. Tyler built this thing pretty neat. So if you do a Control F to find and type something in, that wherever that's located, it will pop up in your folder. So you can find it real easy. You don't have to go folder to folder. Here's a cool thing, you guys, that I'm doing right now that I'm giving you guys. I'm selling I'm selling a big package probably in the next couple weeks. And it's basically all the videos you guys already have, but I'm going to give you access to the site. I don't know what I'm going to sell this for, probably a couple $1,000, but I'm going to give it to you guys for nothing. But it's every video in a whole course, and like basically 75 videos of here's where you start. Here's the first ones you go through, second, third, fourth, all the way through a full deal. And so like I said, this is its own little course. But I'm going to give it to you guys for nothing. I'm going to sell this between $1,000 and $2,000. So that'll make it a little easier, Rod. Right now, I don't believe theirs isn't as organized as what our new product is it, Ty?
No, there's just a folder with everything.
Yeah. So right now, you guys just have this folder with everything. When I give you this new system, it's literally like step by step by step by step by step. It's freaking awesome. I'm going to launch it in, like I say, a couple weeks, but I'm giving it to you guys. So just kind of.
I've been very impressed with my VA, Catherine. She's working on, she looked at the video on how to find buyers online, and she's already sent me her first, I'd say probably about 15. That was just within the last day.
Mm-hmm.
And she's working. I told her, give me 30 this week, 20 to 30. English is very well. I've been impressed.
How much you paying?
$4.
Boom. I love it. Get her busy. My VA that does cash buyers, her name's Leslie. Leslie was making $3 an hour. I just gave her a raise to $4 an hour. Her English is really good. But she's sending me like 200 cash buyers a day.
Oh my God.
Plus she does all my Craigslist ads as well. So your VA needs to ramp up a little bit. Just tell her, hey, one of my friends that's an investor, he's got a VA, and she makes $4 an hour like you do, and he's getting a couple hundred, plus he has her list a whole bunch of Craigslist ads. Can you try to see if you can hit more? So just see what happens. Raise the expectation up. Now,
I don't have rental properties like you do. When you say you use your VA to list your vacancies,
mm-hmm.
Do you do much advertising for like I buy houses on Craigslist? Or
yeah, that same girl, Leslie, she also posts 3 ads a day that we buy houses on Craigslist.
Okay.
It's all gonna be in that course. Tell them how to do it.
Yeah, it's coming out. We're gonna have more of that stuff in the course that's coming out that I'm gonna give you guys too.
Okay.
So yeah, so Leslie every single day. Let me see. Hang on, guys. I'm gonna show you. Hang on. I'm gonna show you something. See if I can figure this out. Hang on. Yeah. See if I can find it. Click here. Move this over.
Is there like a sample ad that you can, that you use?
Yeah, you guys have all that too.
Oh, it's on there? Okay.
Yeah, it's in there. Hang on, guys. I'm going to show you something. Okay, here we go. I'm going to see if I can go back here. see if I can figure this out. Screen share. Share. So I just shared desktop, right, Ty? Okay. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
So here's Leslie. She see how here's her daily progress. May 13th. That was yesterday. So she sent me this at 2:05 p.m. yesterday. Here's what she did. Now she works 8 hours. She sent me 36 new rental ads and 3 cash buyer ads. That is on this link. Then she sent me 21 turnkey buyers in Buffalo, New York. Okay. And then she added cash buyers. She added 89 for Rock Island and 54 for Milan. Those are 2 cities that we buy in. This is her one-day production. So yesterday, I taught you guys about the turnkey thing. So between 54 and 89, call that 150, 170. Yeah, so she did 170 buyers yesterday and 36 rental ads and 3 cash buyer ads.
What do you have her doing for the number 3, the local to find cash buyers now?
I'll show you. So what it is so I told you guys about, and you guys have a link to it on the cash buyer data feed. You guys remember that? I showed you that, how you can go on there and search cash buyers. What this is she pulls that. You can only download so many, unfortunately. So she downloads these and then pulls their contact info. Here's the mailing address where they live. Here's the property, what it sold for, and here's the property address. See that? So she does this every day. This is just a day's part of her day.
What's she using to get all that information?
Huh?
What's she using to get all that information? Sorry.
The Cameron Dunlop. I sent you guys the link to this. Has anybody gotten this yet?
Yes, we've got the link.
Okay, but have any of you guys done it?
No.
See how much good information is in there? These are all cash buyers. Boom, 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 boom. There's tons. So, but in 1 week, she'll send me, 1,000 cash buyers. But I get this cool little report every day. Pretty neat, huh?
Yeah.
She automatically sends this to me every day. And see how she copies Amanda and then copies Daisy, because Daisy's in charge of all my VAs. So anytime Leslie needs to learn something, she learns it from Daisy. Makes sense?
Yes.
Hey Matt, is this all documented in the back?
Everything I do is documented with a suite process, and you guys have it all.
Okay, because I've added buyers from like Facebook and from ads and stuff, but not at the volume that you're doing. It's like I think we added 46 1 week, and we were ecstatic. But I think with just some small tweaks, yeah, we should be able to add a heck of a lot more buyers.
Yeah, you guys, if your VAs, which you're getting your VA, guys, I'm not doing anything different than you guys. I'm getting my VAs from the same place that you're getting yours. I'm paying them the same amount. I'm teaching them through the same training you guys have. Okay, so Leslie gives me 800 to 1,000 cash buyers a week. A week. Yeah. That was just her daily progress yesterday. It was 1 day.
And so, Matt, when you get your properties lined up and ready to sell, you're just sending an email to a lot of these cash buyers?
Send an email, sell a house.
Yep. Send an email, sell a house.
Yep.
So the cold caller you got from there, Matt, last week, you said?
Yep. Yeah, she's with me for like 3 weeks now, 4 weeks. Her name's Hazel.
What was her Discord, Matt?
She's a DI. Mm-hmm. She got her first deal under contract for me. I didn't even know until Amanda told me today. But Amanda sent me an email, so I looked it up, and we got the house for $30,000. It's in a great area.
She got a lead in, and the acquisition guy went and got a deal.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
You got
Matt, do you segment your lists that you send to, like, flippers, maybe like single family rental buyers,
No,
duplexes? You just send it
no,
all?
I don't. But back when I used to do all the selling myself, I would do that. But I'm not involved anymore. So right now we're going to end up. We'll eventually get probably back to that with other people in the company, but I'm just not involved.
We still segment it.
You guys do in
We track what their favorite type of home type is. So
Okay.
we can market them that specific.
yeah. So I guess we do segment it. We do track what their favorite type, but don't segment too much, because if you get too granular, then somebody will miss a deal that they might buy. Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been overcomplicating the process. It's like
Mhm.
been trying to reach out to these people and vet the buyers beforehand rather than just get as many email addresses as I can, and then
Who's got
send
birds in the
properties.
background? Is
And
that
if
you,
they're,
Ryan?
yeah.
I love birds in the morning, man. My favorite thing.
I'm out at the park, so yeah. I
Nice.
got on late. I just had a closing, and then right when I
Nice.
was about to hop on, an investor called. So I think I'm sending over a mortgage, and he's going to put in $30K from his IRA. So
Nice.
that's cool. Oh, and I did. I just started doing posting on Facebook,
Mhm.
and I did post a while back, and I raised $50K right from Facebook.
It's almost like I know what I'm talking about.
I just do what you tell me to do, and it works. So it's amazing.
But
yeah,
one thing, you guys, is I have a very high degree of confidence, right? I've done 4,000 deals. Like, this stuff is pretty easy. So when I hire, maybe this affects everything. When I hire a VA and I say, hey, get cash buyers, and I say, this is how many I want, that's the expectation they hit. So you guys just need to raise your level of confidence. And when you give somebody, set the expectation. I know how, I know how much people can get a lot done if people live up to the expectation you set. So so Rod and some of you other guys that are doing this already just say, hey, somebody else I'm working with, he's getting 200 cash buyers a day. How many can you get? Right?
Competition.
Matt, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Your acquisitions guy, how did you hire for a local acquisitions guy? And number two, how do you compensate them? Is it salary and commission, all commission? How do you do that?
So first of all, my acquisition guy did not ever have anything to do with real estate. He's never bought a house before me. But he was in sales, and he was the top selling sales guy in his company that he worked for. And he sold how to get scholarships to seniors in high school going into college. That was his job. And he was the top performing salesman. It does not matter what industry you're in. If you know how to sell, you can relate it to anything. So all I did was send him to a sales training. He didn't even really need to go. He was already good. He had proven himself in the sales industry that he could perform. I had no doubt he would do well in real estate. And then he gets paid 100% commission only. He doesn't get a salary at all.
So do you pay him based on the gross amount of the sale?
I just give him $1,000 per house.
$1,000 per house.
So if we close 5 houses in a week, he makes $5,000.
That's great.
Yep. And he just works part-time. He doesn't even work. I don't think he works 40 hours a week. He's just a bloodthirsty killer. So,
Matt, can you kind of summarize the dispositions process, like, your team, and then when, like, they send out an email, and kind of walk us through, like, kind of, vetting the buyer, just, you ask for non-refundable earnest money. Can you walk us through that? Like,
yeah,
and how we could kind of build our team?
Yep. So for years and years and years, I did all that myself, right? I ran the whole company. I did dispositions. That was one of the last things I held on to, mainly because I just know how to close, right? That was just always my thing. But what you want to do is you never have the same you cannot have an acquisitions person and a dispositions person be the same person. Absolutely never cross that line. Or you will end up losing both because they will take all your deals. Okay. Once they realize, wait a minute, I can buy and sell a house really easy, just sending, you'll lose them. So that always has to be two different people. So we get a lead. Let me back up. There's two ways I sell. One is if we wholesale, Amanda sends out. You guys, here's the thing: is disposition's really easy, super easy. Like you can do dispositions as a part-time thing. Acquisitions piece is what takes a little more time, right? Disposition is simple. You build a cash buyers list and send out a killer property on an email. It's selling. Like there's not a lot of work to do there. So Amanda, when we get a house under contract, if we decide to wholesale that house, Amanda builds a brochure and sends it out to our list. From there, we answer questions from people and figure out who's going to buy it. Then we take a $4,000 non-refundable earnest money. I only work with cash buyers, so they have to send us a bank statement showing they have the cash, not a pre-approval letter. A bank statement showing the cash, cross out all the account numbers. We're not interested in your account numbers. And then for the turnkey side, we have two sales guys that work kind of part-time because they do other roles in the company. And they just take the lead. We send an email and we sell the house. I mean, guys, it's just really that easy. Like if you get a good deal and you have a strong cash buyers list, dispositions is a part-time thing. It's really simple. Like that's the easy part, but you got to build the list. So if I had to tell you, Ryan, if you really want to get it golden, build the list, spend your time building the list, and then get a killer deal and send an email and sell it. Like it's super simple.
Gotcha. What do you use? What, like MailChimp? Or,
yeah, we use MailChimp.
I've heard SendGrid is good because it doesn't, deliverability is a little bit better. Say, for instance, with a new list.
SendGrid?
Yeah. I've heard they're not, I've heard that they don't, if you get unsubscribes and, a lot of people
MailChimp is finicky. MailChimp is finicky.
I've heard SendGrid is not as, yeah.
But Ryan, it doesn't really matter. Like literally, just find one you really like that is easy to work with that you like.
I've used vertical response. I've used I've used Active Campaign and
and then what you
MailChimp
want to
and
do is
others.
just write good copy, guys. Write generic emails. Like for example, don't write a long email that's a page long. Like literally write a good subject line. Killer deal with lots of equity, and then in the subject. Hey guys, hey Ralph, I don't want to take too much of your time today, but I know you like, lots and lots of equity. This deal has exactly what you're looking for. Hit me back if you're interested in learning more. So we keep it generic so they have to email us back. That tells us two things. One, we constantly are working the list and finding all the people that want to buy properties. So if I send an email and I have 30 responses from people, hey, I want more detail, that builds my confidence a lot better than if I write one very specific email with the exact address, the exact price, the exact this, I don't do it that way because I want to get lots and lots of responses and I start squeezing everybody, right? So, for example, if I get 30 responses from people and somebody emails me at the end of the day and says, hey, I'm interested in that deal, I'll be like, all right, well, here's the deal, man. This is my sales team. They'll get back and we'll say, here's the deal. Like, there's 30 other people that already responded to this. So if you want this one, you need to move quick. Here's the details on it. Like, it's just gives you so much more confidence when you're negotiating if 30 people want the same house.
And so you're pretty much, it's like you're doing your vetting, right? It's like, hey, go do your due diligence and you find out if the buyer is for real or not.
Any subject line that has numbers in it has a higher response rate.
Interesting.
Always remember that. $287 per month cash flow on this Class A rental. Like, that's a good one. Or, I sent an email like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and we're like $1,300 in net cash flow on this property. And literally it was sold in like 5 minutes.
Nice.
It was a big fourplex.
Now,
So,
do you have an in-house, you've got dispositions manager, and kind of
two
the
of them.
same?
Two.
You have two. Okay.
But they're
Okay.
each of them are just part-time because they
Okay.
do other roles in the company. Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, I hit a home run with my acquisitions guy. He's an absolute animal. I mean, he, just young guy. He was in the Army. He's up at 5 a.m. working out by 5:30. He reads an hour, even before he starts working.
Don't let him do dispositions though, man. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, because he'll figure
It's
it all
like
out.
it's
on
like
his own.
driving on the left, going down the highway at night with your headlights off on the left-hand side of the road.
Yeah.
It's not. You might not hit somebody right away, but eventually you're getting in a wreck.
Yeah, I've had a really hard time. I mean, for probably 4 or 5 months we were trying to hire a dispositions manager, and we were not getting any qualified.
Then just put an ad up on Indeed, and
Yep.
just looking for a salesperson for the real estate industry.
Gotcha. As soon as I said disposition, we changed it to get rid of dispositions because I don't think people understood. So just
Nobody
basically
will
say
understand. Just salesman.
salesperson for real estate.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I post in the VIP Facebook group my like job description and everything?
Sure.
And you can review it.
Yep.
I'd like to see, and we do it, just kind of like you guys taught us in Organized Brilliance, where we hire based on values.
Well,
have them
and
do
don't
a
forget,
personality test.
you have the template. It's in your training that we use.
Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll take a look at that and modify it before I put anything up. Because that would be helpful. Cool.
Good deal. Anybody else got anything? We've been a little over an hour now. We can stay on longer if you guys want, or if you guys need to get going. This was a really good. We need to make sure we send an email out to everybody that didn't jump on. This was a really good one. So, anybody got anything? Anything else they want to discuss? Good stuff. Did you guys all get some value out of this?
Ready to make offers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Robbie, you got a question?
No.
Okay, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys know what to do. Offers. There's 3 main things. Get leads, make offers, sell houses, right?
Do you guys record? Do you record these?
Every time.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't. I was talking to that private investor and I missed like the first, I think, 30 or so
we
minutes.
covered some good stuff. So,
I'd like to.
so you'll all get the recorded email to you. Tyler email at the end. So, all right, guys, if there's nothing else, we're going to go ahead and jump on. I'll probably see you next Wednesday. I'll make sure, plan on 11 o'clock Central Wednesday. If something changes, we'll let you know. But I'm going to keep doing these things. I kind of like them. I like teaching. So anyway, you guys have a good weekend. Stuff's starting to open back up. Our window of opportunity is going to close on these killer deals. So you need to make offers right now. So get moving and shaking. All right.
Thanks, Matt. Great
Thank
talking.
you, Matt.
All right. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
All right. Bye.